the whole cast presence on social media, except for Dom, because Dom's doing her own thing and she rarely posts ever. And when she does, it's like something big. Like the last time I saw her post was about her concert, and I freaked the fuck out.
She did post about a new moon, but I don't know. Like
Of course she did. Of course, that's what she posted about.
And then she did comment on Kat's anniversary post, and then she's like, "Time has warped my brain."
Yeah, she thought it was 1 year. I was like, 1 year? Didn't they get married in like 2016?
They got married in 2017, but I was also like, I was so confused because I was like, wait, do you mean like it's been one hell of a year, like 2020, or that it's been a year since they got married? And she's like, and then the second comment, she's like, oh guys, 2020 like zapped my brain.
Yeah. No,
I was
everybody
like,
on Twitter is.
She's been living in her own little bubble for like the last.
She's been living in a van.
Yeah, she has.
Obsessed with van life. Like I want to do that for myself. And so like when I saw the photos of her like in her van when it was like snowing, like I think she was on the East Coast or something. Like I saw those, I was like, and that's when I was talking about those photos where it was like she's hot now. Like I never found her hot until then. And it was those photos. And I was like, I couldn't talk for a while. It was so weird. I was very like another
I think when I first saw the new haircut, I was like, oh, this is different. This is a bit odd. I was like, I'm gonna have to get used to this now. Now I'm used to it. Like I'm like, hell yeah, looking
I like the switch between Nicole has long hair now and Waverly has short hair. I was like, this is great.
Oh my god, I was right. She did post about a new moon. New moon in Sagittarius. That was her last post.
Oh, of course she posts about that stuff. I want to meet her just so I can like hear her talk about everything around whatever she does. Like she's so like, it's weirdly like grounded and like she's so in tune and so like interested in all this stuff. Where like I just want to know because I don't know. I kind of interested in astrology, not really sure. I don't know my birth chart except my grandpa would know because he was into that apparently. And so I have actually some books on it that I haven't read yet and I'm very interested. So I want to like sit down and talk about just like her life and what she does when we don't know what she's doing. Like I just need to know. Can I ask her to be on this podcast?
I think what shocked me the most when I met her, she brought out her phone to take a photo of like our photo op because her mum was in it and she wanted to show her mum, so like she took a photo of her phone. I looked over, her phone was like completely smashed and I was like, I did not like. I understand you're human.
I wouldn't expect that.
Like, I did not see her as someone who would walk around with a smashed phone.
What phone was it? What type of phone was it?
It's like a 7 or a 6. Like I didn't.
She
like,
still has a 7 or a 6.
No, she's upgraded since then because obviously it was smashed. But I think it was like it looked like a 7. I think
that's
really
or
even
funny.
like a 6S. It was a quite an old phone.
That's really funny. That's oh my gosh. There's just like certain things about the cast that I'm so
like, okay, and then I'm like to myself, oh, so this is why she's never on her phone.
It's broken. It's broken. Like she can only go on Instagram on her computer.
You can't even post.
That's why it takes so long. She has to figure out her computer to upload.
Oh god! I remember one time I was her doing the fan fiction addiction podcast, and she closed her laptop while she was doing a podcast. I was like, oh my god.
Oh my gosh. That's so funny. So anyway, since we're kind of done with talking about the actual episodes I was talking about, we're just gonna get into the fandom now.
Easy.
Okay, so do you write fanfics, right?
I do. And I should actually get back to finishing my pizza delivery one and a Christmas one, which was supposed to happen, never did. Because I was like, oh yeah, because I like graduated high school, like all my exams are done, and me and my friend were trying to write it together. And because she lives in America, it was so hard with like time differences.
Who are you? Would I know this person that you're writing with?
Bacon Donut on
Yeah.
TikTok.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't talked to her yet, but I know who that is.
Mm-mm. And so we were trying to write a fic, and I'd come up with this really funny, like thing, and I pitched it to even an artist to sort of like develop a picture for it and stuff. And I was like, because I know that Nicole or Kat doesn't want to sing on the show. So I sort of came up with this idea that she would only sing if she was drunk.
Oh, definitely.
Drunk.
Do you watch Legends?
Yes.
Okay, it's like when the like it's like episode 3 of the past season when Ava's at the bar and she gets smashed.
Yeah.
And Sarah's like, keep them busy, and she just starts to sing Poison.
Yes.
Like that's what I imagine with Nicole.
That's literally like, and then I literally had that, but she'd sing, it was like All I Want for Christmas Is You, because it was supposed to be like a Christmas fic, and she'd be in shorties, and then Wynonna and Doc were in like cheerleading outfits with pom-poms like on the other side of the bar, like cheering her on, and then
except they're not drunk, they're just really into Nicole being drunk.
They've joined into it. And Rachel's like wooing from like the background, and like same with like Rosita and Jeremy. And
but Rachel's sneaking drinks at the same time, right?
Yeah. And then Waverly's sitting on like a bar stool, and Nicole's literally on the bar, like singing down to her with a microphone. And that was my concept, and I thought it was hilarious. And I'm like partway through writing the fic, and
that's got so busy with business. I wrote part of a fic, and I've only written like the first part because that was the initial idea in my head. And I want to write more, but I hate writing. I don't think I'm good at it. I have ideas, and I'm like, I can't write. It was during like a way hot wedding, and because I remember somebody asked Kat, like, what's the picture on Nicole's desk? And she's like, it's her sister and like her nieces or nephews or something like that. So it's like, I'm playing into this because I'm interested in Nicole's family because we don't know anything besides kind of her parents. So it's like at the wedding, she invites her sister and her niece, who I named Olivia because I like that name. And so, it's kind of like it's in Olivia's point of view, so it's in Nicole's niece's point of view, and it's kind of like her just kind of observing the wedding and everything. And I wanted to play into mental health, not that I have mental health problems, which for me it's really hard to, it's not that I don't understand, it's I have these ideas of that because I know people who have dealt with it where I haven't. So as a Pisces, this empathetic sort of thing in my head gets really fascinated. So it was this idea of Olivia, who also comes out as part of the community. I haven't said what yet because I don't know. She was gonna rely on Nicole for that because Nicole was the only other person that she knew who was also part of the community, but Nicole left for purgatory. Yeah. And so Olivia really falls through kind of this depressive state, and she gets outed by her friend and gets bullied pretty much and becomes suicidal. So she like, there's this whole thing, and I acted out in my head like I'm playing the actress or something, which is a fantasy of mine, just to be on the show. I think everybody wants to. I don't know if I can.
I asked Dom if I could be on the show. I full on asked Dom, hey, like, what does it take to be an extra? Can I be on? And then she's like, yeah, we'll figure something out. I'm like, I wasn't expecting that answer.
How long ago was that?
This was like September September 2019.
Oh. Still hasn't happened yet.
No. Because I was like, I'll come on for season 5. But then COVID happened, so it mixed up all my plans. Yeah. Like I was thinking that they would be filming season 5 like now.
They would be, yeah.
Yeah.
Or even if there wasn't a break, it could be season 6 without the fight for Wynonna break. Like they technically could be filming season 6, which is crazy to think about. Yeah. So anyway, yeah. Anyway, so after the wedding happens and stuff, Olivia finds Nicole in her office because she's a sheriff again. After Holt died and everything, I'm assuming she's gonna take up that position because that's what I want.
I want that too, but I don't know if it's gonna happen.
I don't know if it's gonna happen either. I feel like at this point, Nicole has become comfortable enough that she's not.
Yeah.
You know, I just wanted to happen, so I wrote it in. And so Olivia again is confiding in Nicole and expresses like the things that she's gone through and her attempted suicide. I did not elaborate how because that's too graphic and I don't know how that works. So I was like, she confides in Nicole for this, and Nicole is kind of really taken aback by this because she would have never thought that would happen to someone so close to her. I mean, like we know Waverly had in the Jolene episode, but I don't know if Waverly talked about that with Nicole at all.
I feel like she would have.
Because we had this scene where they were like, after the whole thing with Jolene happened, they were in Waverly's bedroom and they were kind of just snuggling up and being cute and everything. So I'm wondering, like, that at probably that point they talked about it. So it was kind of like, that's kind of what I imagined in my head with this Olivia and Nicole. And then Waverly walks in after they've kind of figured everything out and they're all okay now. They're not crying. Waverly walks in and is like, hey guys, I'm interrupting. And then I brought in, because I think I had thought of the idea after the 403 with the chili episode. And they're like, okay, let's go somewhere to eat. Let's go grab some food because food's great. What are we watching?
I was wondering if I wanted to watch a movie, but I don't want to watch it.
Because anyway, so they go to grab food and food's great. And so Nicole would write her sister and her niece and stuff. Like she'd write letters to them to just keep in touch and everything. And so Nicole had told them about this whole chili cook-off thing. And Olivia remembers it. She's like, let's have some of Wynonna's chili. And Nicole's just like, no, absolutely not. No. And she's like, let's just go to Shorty's. But I think I also made the joke about Waverly's vegan chili.
Yes, I want to try Waverly. I hate anything spicy, but I would eat Waverly's vegan chili.
I can't have vegan food. I'm allergic to a bunch of stuff.
You're
so I can't be vegan.
Vegan food? Like as in like vegetables?
No, so a lot of the protein sources that they use
to
substitute stuff, I'm mostly allergic to.
Oh, okay.
So I
was like, you're allergic to vegetables?
No, I'm not. I actually like vegetables a lot. So
I love vegetables too, but I have my enemies in the vegetable area. I don't like some.
I don't think I do. Well, actually, no, never mind. That's true. I don't like mushrooms.
I like mushrooms, but I hate the squishy vegetables.
What do you mean by squishy?
Like sweet potato, pumpkin.
I don't like sweet potato at all. That's gross. Yeah, anyway, so that was kind of the idea, and I wanted to write more after that of kind of Olivia would stay in purgatory, her mom would leave, and she'd stay there with Nicole and Waverly and stuff. And they'd go on little adventures. That was the idea, and I haven't gone back to it since.
No, like sometimes like I got such big writer's block when I was trying to write chapter 2 and I'm like partway through it of my pizza delivery fic of Nicole being a pizza delivery person. And I was like, I got total writer's because I was supposed to write their date. And I was like writing the beginning of it. Like I really I was invested. And then like I didn't know where to go from.
That's how I get. And then I'm not in tune with writing, and I really like to be more of like a dialogue person than actually being like descriptive. Like there's these people who write these big descriptive long paragraphs during their fics, and I'm just like I can't do that. I'm just gonna just talk. I imagine my like writing as I would imagine it being writing like a script.
My first fic I wrote for Wynonna was a written fic. So I wrote a lot of the fluffy stuff and they wrote the other stuff because I wasn't comfortable at the time, and still I'm not to write that.
Yeah. I don't know if I would be either. I would write it, but I'd write it for myself and I wouldn't post it. Just keep it for myself.
I just wouldn't know how to describe it. I tried.
There's the people who like she runs her hand along my spine.
Yeah, I'm like,
how do you fantasize this about this like every day? Like, is this what you think about? Like, that's what comes into my head when I read that stuff.
Yeah, I wrote my own sort of version of 401 or season 4 returning. It was like Waverly got out of the garden and Nicole was in like this massive shootout, like the main.
Ooh, like the OK Corral shootout.
With gang members.
Yeah.
And she was by herself and she got like shot down, but like she was wearing a bulletproof vest, but she like it got in her, like it missed, like, you know, it doesn't like barricade everything. And then Waverly like flew down because I wrote her with wings.
Yeah.
That's literally my one wish is for her to get wings. And then she healed Nicole. And then I wrote it that during their reunion, like the stair scene, I wrote one. I was like, oh, how funny how I predicted this a year ago. That during her wings popped out.
Wow. Is that a turn on? Maybe.
It was
I feel like Nicole would be like, all right, let's go.
And I realized Nicole was like so shocked at the wing that she had wings, so she hadn't seen them because she was
That's
like
true.
passing out and everything, dying. So she hadn't seen them, and then they'd sprung out, and Waverly didn't even realize, and she was like,
2 in the moment.
Oh,
Nicole's just like, babe, wait a second, you got something going on behind you there. No, and then, sorry, I just felt, what if like a halo appeared also?
Oh my god.
Wow.
I don't know what sort of mindset I was in, but I was like, oh, wouldn't it be really funny if that happened? Yeah.
That would be funny. No, and then Wynonna walks in. And she's just like, oh, walks back out. She just turns around. Oh my
I really do want Waverly to have wings though, and I think Dom really wants her to have wings.
You know what also I want for 4B is I want more of Rachel with her Mayan Warren history, because that really plays in with the comics in Valdez, because the characters are completely different. So I want more of that for Rachel, because I'm really interested to see, like, does she have powers or something? Like, is there something that she has?
Valdez in the comics is A, unkillable, and B, immortal. So like,
oh yeah. So like, with Rachel, does the line get passed down? Obviously they're not unkillable because her mom died.
Yeah.
But like, is there powers that are like handed down, like kind of the air with Wynonna? Like, is it that kind? I kind of want it to be that kind of situation.
Yeah.
And then I was like, they should like go back to Mexico and visit like the Mayan ruins or whatever's there. I don't remember. Like they should have like a buddy trip there. Everybody go to Mexico. You know?
It's warmer.
Warmer than like what's gonna happen is Wynonna and Rachel are gonna go searching for Rachel's history, and Way Hot is honeymooning.
Yes.
In Mexico.
In Mexico, yeah. Yeah.
Well, they wanted somewhere tropical.
They wanted to go to like Hawaii for their honeymoon.
Close enough.
Yeah.
It's tropical in Mexico. Go to the beach. It doesn't rain as much. But Hawaii, it rains.
Yeah.
Too much.
Especially in the wet season. Yeah.
I had a tournament there, and we were on a hike, and it just started raining. I was like, great. I'm gonna slide off this mountain. Yeah. Okay, I know we talked about it before we started recording here, but we can talk a little bit about Twitter, but with TikTok and Earp Talk.
I'm just going to get myself some lollies from my cupboard. I will be back. Candy, as you guys call them. Candy.
Lollies. So just for myself, I'll say myself here. I didn't know Earp Talk was a thing. I was aware of Twitter and Instagram and everything. I was very much into that. I didn't do anything. I didn't interact. I just followed and watched. But I saw Romy was the first person that I saw on TikTok, and then I saw a few others. I think I saw Angie.
Angie.
I think I saw her also at one point. So then I decided to do my own. I pretty much did what everybody does: take trends on TikTok and use them for whatever show.
Yeah.
So I played into that, and I did decently well in the beginning. So I was like, I'm gonna keep doing it. And I did that, and then I had a TikTok with the stair scene, and that kind of blew up in my face. And I was like, I guess I'm doing this now. I have 200 something followers, which that means since I think I started in like last year, October or September or something. So I've gained about 150 followers since then. And I'm very surprised by it. Wasn't expecting this. I didn't know how big it was until I obviously started. So, and now I'm into it full swing. I feel like I'm a part of the community, and I'm interested in getting on Twitter in their community. I made a new, if I can even get in, there's too many people. Are anybody gonna know me? I don't know.
Twitter is a very big scene. Like, I only recently am getting noticed by people, and I've been on there for 5 years.
Really?
Yeah, and I've been on like the Twitter, like I wasn't like really big, but I was like, I try to tweet as much as I can, but I don't tweet that often, but I just see other people's things and I'll like reply to things. But it's such a big scene, and you need to know who you follow. Like, there's been a lot of shit that went down last year that we, like, the whole Earper fandom started unfollowing Earpers because they just were rude, toxic, mean.
I've only heard about that on Instagram, because people go on Instagram and also talk about stuff, and stuff just comes up on my explore page because I don't really follow fan pages that much. So I kind of search through, and that's how I get my information on what's really going on. So there's stuff that goes on, for example, with Domcat and a friendship, just to be clear what's happening. And I believe, obviously, you agree. You're nodding your head. It's a friendship.
I get attacked for it 24/7, I swear.
And people who think like it's like a relationship, and now that both of them have come out, it's like it's kind of validated that thing even more. And I never really agreed with that. I mean, Kat's married, and I was like, she's married, obviously, whatever. I'm not gonna argue with that. So there's like that whole stuff, and there's other stuff that I don't know about because I'm not that present on Wynonna Twitter. So it's like that. So I created a Twitter for this so I could just do stuff on this, because my personal, nobody knows about my geekness of TV shows. I keep that separate. I don't know why.
I think with Twitter, it's not so much like Domcat drama does come up, but not as much as on TikTok and Instagram.
I think TikTok has become, not that it's become, I think it came later in the game, obviously. It came after Twitter, obviously. So, and at that point, people who started Earp TikTok, I don't know when it first started. I came on later.
It started to get really big this year when I came back for season 4. And obviously TikTok is directed to a younger audience, so the younger audience of Wynonna do tend to be on TikTok more than obviously on Twitter. Whereas like Twitter's more like late teens to like maybe middle-aged people. Yeah.
So and I think that plays a big difference with the age and who it's directed towards, because I think, and I don't know who runs these fan accounts. I don't know how old they are or whatever. They usually don't say, so I don't know. But I feel like with the people who are on Earp Talk, it's mostly younger people. And so I think most of us, being the age we are, being in the world that we live in, we understand what's going on and what's acceptable and what's not. Because there's in general with TV show, there's a lot of people who ship stuff that isn't canon, even just in TV characters. But like, there's a lot of people who do this real life shipping stuff, and that in general kind of bothers me because like
I feel like it crosses a line that you do need to see fiction and reality in two different like segments. Like, you can ship Way Hot completely fine. That's a canon relationship. You can ship Why Not. They're best friends, but you can ship it as a couple. That's totally up to you. That's your opinion.
Yeah.
You can ship Wine Dolls, Wine Doc, whatever. Just don't go out of your way to ship the cast members because it affects them.
It does, and it has. Some people stop being on social media because of that. And I think it's dangerous because the Wynonna Earp fandom in itself has been praised as such a welcoming and great fandom where there's this kind of dark side to it that has now become present to the cast members. And I think that's not okay. And I'm glad stuff has started to not come out as much with Domcat and stuff that goes on and that kind of general stuff. I'm glad, not that I'm glad I don't see it because I'd like to know what's going on. I'm just glad that I don't see it because I don't want to.
Yeah, I started following accounts on TikTok that posted about it.
I haven't come across anything bad on TikTok. The only thing I came bad about was when you cut your hair.
When I cut my hair?
Yeah, there was a thing.
Oh my god, yes! Oh, I was like, you didn't like how I cut my hair? I was like,
no,
what?
I like that I didn't. No, that didn't. It wasn't. No, it was somebody else who did it, and I remember like that was like the most recent thing I've seen.
I was really funny. Okay, so I was cackling at it. I was laughing my head off because I'm like,
I'm glad that you didn't care. No.
14, 13-year-olds behind a phone thinking that like all high top stuff, thinking that I'm full on stealing an identity of someone.
And there's people who do that with TV shows.
There's people in the fandom that deliberately cut their hair because Dom did.
Yeah, and there's people in general with TV shows that try to mimic the characters themselves, which is weird to me. I'm not that type of person, I'll be honest. But I think that's another situation, and if I see that stuff, I kind of just let it be. I was like, that's how you are a part of this and how you like the show. That's not my problem. But when you did it, it was funny because I saw the person post about it. The post they did, like after you cut your hair, I saw that post. I was like, is this towards you? Is this what they're talking about? And then you posted afterwards, and then the person posted again, like I said, I'm sorry, or something like that.
It was like, oh my god. Okay, so basically, it's just a few things. It was so freaking weird. So I obviously posted it. I was like, and okay, so first of all, the TikTok that I posted had nothing to do with my haircut.
Really?
No. So I was like, the thing was like, oh yeah, this is what happens when I simp so hard, and it's like the song "Turn Me On" with photos of like Waverly and Dom, and then people in the comment section like, oh yeah, this is not simping, this is you stealing her identity. I'm like, how?
Do I look like Dom remotely?
Putting a song over a few photos of her, is that remotely stealing her identity? Like,
am I living in a van smoking some weed with my friends? No. And I love that picture of Dom you could see it in her hand.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is great. I love this.
I love it. And it was like, and then people started fighting in my comments, and then everyone was like on my side, and they're like, who didn't go against it? And it was like, it's just a haircut. It's just this, it's just that. Like, is she not allowed to cut her hair? And then I full on said, it had nothing to do with my nude do. It had to do with the song and the photos I put in it, and then what's wrong with me? And there's like, oh, I don't think Dom would be happy with you stealing her haircut.
Can steal a haircut?
Can no one get a bop now because she's trademarked it to be her hair?
And if she did, I wouldn't mind it.
I'm like,
it's a signature haircut, you can't steal it. If you do, you have to pay copyright fines.
And I'm sure, like, I full on said to my friends, like, I full on think that if Dom saw this, she'd be like, what the fuck?
Like, she'd find it so, like, irrelevant, like, what?
I don't get it. She'd be like, I don't get it. This TikTok has nothing to do with what this person's going on about. And then prior to that, I did a video on, like, please stop shipping Dom Cat. And everyone was like, you can't stop what my opinion is. I'm like, yeah, but you're shipping a real life couple. Do you understand what
That
this
already
means?
have their own relationship.
Yeah, like Dom said that
Dated
she
a
had
girl
a
for the
girlfriend.
first time.
Yeah, and then Kat is married. Like,
Yeah. Kat's
is there
obviously
more
married. Like, look it up.
I know, and it's so funny is that at a convention like early, like 2017, Kat is at a panel. She's like, spoiler alert, I'm not Nicole. And so like you need to like, I understand, but they're like, but we do separate it from Nicole and Waverly. I'm like, I don't think you do. I think you're in the mindset of Way Hot wanting it to happen in real life.
Yeah.
And it's not gonna happen in real life, so you're sad about it. And I keep seeing these TikToks come up on my For You pages like, a couple that could have worked out like the right people but the wrong time.
Oh, I think I've seen stuff like that.
It
That
me
bothers me.
off.
But in good news, around people were they weren't in the show together, but Katie Lotz and Ruby Rose. Have you seen like the stuff about them? Like,
no, I'm not really a big fan of either of them.
oh, okay.
Like I watch Legends, but after the stuff with Katie Lotz and Trump, I was like,
I didn't understand. Okay, that's a conversation for another time, but I really didn't understand what's going on. I was very confused.
I was confused too. I was like, what's happening? I was like, I don't understand this.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, if she's a Trump supporter, then I'm like so confused.
I don't think she is.
Yeah. Maybe not.
I hope she's not.
Like her tweets could have been taken out of context. Like we never know.
I think they were a little bit. But anyway, there's stuff around. There's stuff between Katie and Ruby that people are trying to figure out if they're together or not.
I thought they were just best friends. Like that's what I see from the photos. Is that they're just
that's what I've seen too. But there's this Ruby did this birthday post.
Oh, sorry, my dog just sat down by my door. I was like, what is that noise?
My dog. There's this birthday post and some people were like, this is a confirmation they're together, which it did not say that. So
a majority of Arrowverse fans though are like kids though.
Yeah. I'm not. There's a kid I tutor and he watches The Flash. I was like, you watch that show? Oh God, he's in first grade. He's like 6.
Okay, I can't really say anything. I was like 8 years old when I was watching Buffy the Vampire Slayer, so I can't really say much.
Anyway, so back to Twitter. Yeah, there's just people who do shit and I don't like it. To move on, you joining the fandom, Earp Talk, Twitter and stuff. Elaborate, explain, go into detail, your choice.
Like how I joined the fandom or like how I've like expressed myself through the social media platforms?
Either one, both.
Okay.
Summarize.
Basically, I'm not going to eat my lollipop just yet. I'm just going to put it down.
You should. I've been drinking my Coke.
Basically, I joined like back in 2017, June. I think about a week before season 2 had started. God, it's a long time ago. And I was watching Supergirl at the same time. So I already had a developed fan page for Supergirl. And I was like still posting about that. And I was like, okay. And then Supergirl came to an end. So I started watching Wynonna because I had nothing else to watch. And I loved the show. So I turned my fan account into a duo. Like it was both Wynonna and both Supergirl. And then I kept posting like both fandoms and stuff. And then 2018 came around. I wasn't as active on it because I was like, oh, I'll just post from there and now, everything, I don't mind. And then I went to Japan, so I was away for 2 weeks, didn't really spend much time on the account. And then I came back to season 3 and I was like, okay, I'm going to start posting again for Wynonna. Flash forward to September. I post for Waverly's birthday. Dominique reposts that on her account.
Wait, is it still on there?
It's on there, yeah.
Wait, hold on. I have to find this. I feel like I remember the post, but now that I know it's you, keep talking. I'm gonna look for this.
All good, all good. And so and then I get this notification on my phone saying like, oh, Dominique tagged you in a photo. I'm like, oh, no, she didn't. No, she didn't. It's a fan account who's tagged me in a photo or commented me in a photo, like in a comment. I'm totally fine. And I was like, and then yeah, there it is.
This is great. Oh my god.
And then I was like, oh, and then I was like, holy shit, she knows who I am. Fuck. Shit. And then I got a DM from someone saying that she'd viewed one of my stories that I'd saved on my Instagram. It was my Wynonna Earp story, and I wrote on there that Waverly Earp owns my ass. And I was like, oh no, she's found out my stuff. I was like, no, she's found out all about me. And then because I was tagged in the photo, like I got so many new followers that night. Like I went from like 500 to like 800 overnight. And then like I was like, okay, well, I'm noticed now. I have to give content. So then I started posting 2 times a day, every day.
I can't be that committed.
For months. And then I came around to like 2019. I was like, okay, guys, I'm gonna cut the 2 times a day to just the 1 times a day because it's just so hard for me to do 2 posts. So I did that all through 2019. And I was like, okay, yeah, season 4 is coming. And then it never did. And then the Fight for Wynonna thing happened. So I was still posting throughout all that, supporting the show. And then we get the announcement we're coming back. And then 3 months after that, well, actually the same day that we got announced to come back was the day that Dom got announced that she was coming to Australia for a convention. So I was like,
did you have a conversation with her about the post?
She's okay. Oh no, I have it on my wall, but she signed it. I printed it out to get signed because I'm like, this is the first moment she noticed my existence. Yeah, I'm gonna get.
I would too.
I told her the morning of my first autograph that I was getting for a friend, because she couldn't meet Dom, so I went to get her one as a present, and I was like, oh, I was the person that made the Happy Birthday Waverly post, and she's like, you were? And I was like, oh my god, she remembers the post. Like I was expecting her to forget the post and everything. No, she remembered. She's like, oh my god. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm bringing it tomorrow to get it signed. And she's like, oh. Like she was so. And then she the next day she signed it, and I'm like, oh, do you like it? She's like, I fucking love it. And I was like, she just swore in front of me.
She just cursed for me.
Oh my god. She loved it. She showed her mom and everything, and I was like, this is so weird.
That's like a dream moment. Like
it was and it was literally almost a year apart. She noticed me on Waverly's birthday, so the 8th of September, and then I met her on the 21st of September. So it was still in the same month.
Yeah.
I was like, September's my month. And then Mel and his conversation with me was in September. It was Waverly's birthday again. Wow. Like September's just my month. Yeah. It was a surreal experience, and I was like, I did not even predict that I'd ever probably make the cast. I was like, maybe someday, but I don't know if I'd ever would.
Yeah, I was like, I honestly don't have the money to go to a con. Maybe when I'm in college and I make my own money, I could. I want to go to Klexicon, that's a dream.
Because I wanted to come to an international con to meet the whole cast, and then just they were gonna Dom was coming here, and I was like, why is this lining up perfectly? Why are you why are you coming when I need you right? Because Wynonna wasn't there, so I didn't have Waverly. It's having Dom in the year that I didn't have Waverly was just cherry on top.
Yeah, that's insane. Wow. So you and TikTok, you said you started TikTok when?
I started on TikTok. Well, I started on Musical.ly, and then I turned to TikTok. And
it was too much for me, man.
I downloaded Musical.ly as a little spoof one night because I was really bored and I just wanted to make them. So I did it, and then I deleted it for maybe 3 or so years. And then I got it back and I started making content at the beginning of the year. And it wasn't like that entertaining. And then it came around to like June, July, when I started to make like a lot more content, and it was just little stuff like the 100 and stuff. And then when Wynonna came back, I started just making Earp talks, and everyone was like, "Oh my god, like this is amazing!" Like, and then I went accidentally viral, and now
I
I've got
remember that.
almost 60,000 followers, and I'm like,
That's insane. Yeah, no. What did you go
happened?
viral for? Was there like two things? I remember one thing that you like duetted some video that didn't have to do with Wynonna Earp.
No,
And it was
it
like,
was,
was it the thing where like I'll pass it on to this group of
yeah,
people? I
yeah.
remember that.
It got passed on to the lesbians. So I said no, of course, because I'm a lesbian, because I'm not going to date a guy. And then that blew up, and then everyone just started following me. I was like, what the hell? And then I was like, what? Yeah.
Yeah, that's insane. I when I first started, I didn't post about Wynonna Earp. It was mostly water polo stuff because that's the sport I play. So I did that, and I hoped to blow up, but the things that I was hoping for were really stupid, to be honest. Like I was like, why would this ain't nothing special. I'm doing what everybody else is doing. So, and then I just kind of had TikToks just so I could see TikToks. I would just scroll through and watch stuff. And then I had people I followed, obviously. And then once I saw you and other people on Earp Talk, that's when I was like, I'm going to do this. This is how I'm going to spend my time now. My parents are going to walk on me wearing one of their own cowboy hats, and that's going to be that. I'll explain to them later. I literally asked my mom because they're into country stuff. So they have the hats that you see me wear. If you ever see me doing Nicole stuff, that hat, that's my mom's. So I was lucky enough to be able to get one of those. So my mom knows about it. My dad might know. I think I told him, but he doesn't care.
My whole family knows about my TikTok because I told them about my viral video that I did.
Oh.
And they're like, holy shit. I was like, I know.
Thank you. No, because my mom knows, but I don't tell her that much because she understands, but she could care less. As long as I'm being safe and not doing inappropriate things. And then my sister knows because my sister follows me on TikTok. So she obviously knows. And then her girlfriend knows. So I just do it. And if they ask me questions, I'll try to do my best to explain the situation. But yeah, so now I feel like, and every day I find new people that I have not seen before doing Earp Talk. It's bigger than I didn't realize how many people were doing stuff. So every day, like on my For You page, I see someone new and I see that like you follow them. I was like, oh, what? And stuff. So like it's bigger than I imagined, and that's a lot just with the fandom in general. Like I see so much stuff and like it's always somebody new. So it's really interesting to see like how big it actually is with someone like me who doesn't interact with the Earp fandom on social media as much. Like I used to TikTok's about the only way I do it. So it's really interesting to see what it's like, and I'm getting my little glimpses here and there of being noticed.
Oh my god, no, my leg.
Oh
my god, no. Oh.
Did it hit the floor?
Basically, it has dog fur on it.
Ew. My dogs don't shed, so I don't have that problem.
I'm just gonna put that in my bin. No, I watched the video of you saying that I was your influence, and I was so I was like, me? I was like, what? No.
Yeah, no. And then you commented on my TikToks about like I wanted to do this podcast again. And then I was like, you want to do it? Oh my god. And then you were the first person who DM'd me because I said my DMs were open.
Yeah, I read that. I saw the first one. I was like, I'd love to join. And then I thought, oh, maybe she's found someone. And then I saw the second one. It's like, oh, if you want, my DMs are open if you want to still do it. And I was like, yes. Yeah.
I want to have different people because different people were interested. So I want to do multiple people and meet new people because I haven't like formally talked to any of them. Like I've been wanting to, and I see like you and Angie and other people I don't know their actual names because their bios don't have their names in them. You guys had these like Zoom meetings of you together. I was like, oh, I wish.
Oh, no, we originally made like a giant, like I think it was like the beginning of really Earp Talk coming as a community, and someone had said, oh, I'm going to make a group, anyone want to join? I was like, oh hell yeah, I want to meet some more Earpers, so I'll join the group. I then joined that group, and it was filled with like 14, 13-year-olds and like a couple.
I don't understand how those people find the show.
And then like a couple of people like my age or a little bit older. And I was like, so I started talking to them mostly. And then we got like one morning here, we got a little bit more adult than we should have in the chat with the younger audience. So one of them suggested like to make a group. So we've kind of become like a family, and each of us have a different character and stuff. And
I noticed that too. You had this like chain of like who your characters were.
Yeah, Mercedes, who is Bacon Donut. Yeah. That's her actual name.
Oh, that is okay. That's what I was wondering. I was like, is that her actual name? That's so cool.
Yeah. And so she always makes this stuff, and she always tags us in it, and we're like, okay, we'll do a chain, we'll go as our characters. But yeah, it's a lot of fun, but like there's definitely more groups out there. Like I'm a part of way too many. Like I keep joining them, and I'm like, why am I in this group again? Like, yeah.
That's like, and then like the convention you went to wasn't an Earp convention. It was just like
a normal multi-fandom, like an Australian version of like a Dragon Con or a San Diego Comic Con.
Yeah. So like, and I know like a lot of times the cast goes to they'll go to Dragon Con. I think that's in like Georgia. They might do it in other places. I'm not sure. And then they do the big ones like San Diego Comic Con. But like to go to like just like an Earp Con would be like absolutely insane. I know they were gonna do some. There's one that's gonna be in Ohio, which I'm nowhere near because I live in California. Don't have.
Isn't there one in Anaheim?
That's what I thought. I wasn't sure, but I again don't have the money.
That one's really expensive.
I know. I was looking it up. It's like I don't have the money.
I look them up to find the cheapest convention to go to because I also have to pay for like flights and stuff if I were to go to an international con. And Earpapalooza, which is in like, I don't know where it is. I think it's Ohio. I think that's the one.
There's one in Ohio, and I think there was one going to be somewhere in the southern states, as in the southeast, like what you know as the South of America.
Yeah. I was looking at that one, and it was the cheapest one out of every convention.
I mean, it is Ohio.
True, yeah. It is, but like it was also like a lot of the cast, like a majority of the cast for that one. So I was like, well, I'll get it for cheaper to see more of the cast, sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I would love to do that someday. At some point.
Yeah, I think my friend who is deputy dipshit, or one of the deputy dipshits, because there's two of them on TikTok.
There's two of them?
Yeah, there's Sarah and then there's Victoria. I follow both. I'm friends with both of them. But Victoria, who is one of the deputy dipshits, is going to Anaheim. Yeah.
I remember there's two now.
Yeah.
I realized I had to think about who the other one was.
Oh, that was a lolly. That's fine.
I like how you call them lollies. I live in America and I live in California. It's a lollipop for me. Sometimes a sucker. It depends on what it's like.
Sucker just sounds so.
It's weird. I whenever I say it, I regret saying it. It's so weird.
I would regret saying the word wet.
You can't see it, the stupid light. They're Christmas cookies.
Oh.
If you ever hear of frosted animal cookies, and they're like pink and white, they got sprinkles on them. Those are my absolute favorite. This is the same brand except they're green and white and they're reindeer.
Oh.
Thanks, Mom. So yeah. No. And then this was something in the back of my mind that I wanted to ask. am I gonna reach out to the cast to see if they want to come on? Yeah, I'll shoot my shot. Because I remember when I never listened to it when it started because I came into the fandom like before season 3. I've been watching Tales of the Black Badge, not watching, listening to it. And I went back and watched the beginning episodes. And so Kat was the first person they had on, and it was their second episode. So
Yeah.
I'm hoping if I ask her, she might do it.
I better be there for that. I'm like,
oh, do you want? Okay, I'll invite you. I'll invite multiple people. No, I won't. I don't want to stress her out. I know she doesn't like big groups of people. So.
True. But I feel like if you reached out to like her agent or something, I'm sure something could get figured out. I'm sure something would work out.
No, yeah. Anyway, so if that ever happens, what would be a question? It could be related to the show, it could be related to them, that you would want to ask them. Any of the cats, it doesn't matter. I have some ideas.
Not much.
Yeah, you can think about it.
Oh god.
I like asking about their younger years. What was high school like for you guys?
True. Yeah.
Like I want to learn about like them in general. Because like I already know so much. They've already done interviews about the show and everything. Like I don't want to ask them more because they're gonna repeat it. Like, can Kat just ramble on about her playing basketball?
True. I always wanted to ask Dom, and I never did when I met her, but it pisses me off, if she stole the cheetah coat from set.
Have you stolen any wardrobe items?
Well, she's taken some.
Oh,
she's got a lot of her season 2 outfits.
Because everybody mentions, like, I've seen like recently, like the recent posts of whatever she's done. The clothes she wears are similar to those in some of the 4B promo stuff. Like the music video that her and Martina did, it was the shirt, but it was a different color. That was really. I was like, okay. I mean, I wouldn't mind. I like it.
I definitely think that she's stolen a couple of things from set.
I would believe it.
Yeah, she's pretty sneaky, and she's quite small, so like, you wouldn't see her.
I did that TikTok of me comparing heights, and I'm like 5'7", 5'8", depends on who I ask. All right, she's like 5'4". I'm like, I'm taller than her.
She was tinier than what I thought she was. Like I knew going to meet her that she'd be tiny, but she was tinier than my expectation.
And I always think Kat is like super tall than us because her and Dom have like kind of a height difference. So you see them together and you think she's super tall because you don't realize how short Dom is. And then she's like 5'9". I'm like, I am 2 inches shorter than her.
I am her height. Actually, no, I'm a centimeter taller than Kat.
Really? Is she's like 5'9" or 5'10"?
5'9", 174 centimeters.
So you're 175. Nice.
I like to brag about that. I'm like, oh, I'm taller than Kat.
Kat's like above average, at least for North America.
The only cast member in that cast who is average is Dom.
Yeah.
For a woman, that she's oh my god. Not only, okay, you know how people, like, she's a petite person.
Yes.
But like, I expect, like, in the show, like, she looks a little bit more beefier because obviously TV makes you look a bit more wide.
Yeah, it's food pounds.
And then when I went to meet her, like, she was smaller and skinnier than what I originally thought. And I was like, holy shit.
You know, I'm
tiny.
Yeah, I feel like that's like you meet your idol and they're like, wait, this is not what I imagined.
Well, how she acted and stuff, like, she was above my expectations, but just how she looked physically was a lot smaller and a lot more petite than what I had originally thought.
Yeah. I remember, I think it was it a podcast or was it a panel or something? They were talking about the Jolene episode and the bar fight. And when Kat had to hold Dom back, Kat was actually, she's like really strong, actually. I was like, I wonder if I could do it. because I weigh a lot more than I look, to be honest, because I have so much muscle from working out all the time that I'm like, could I do it? Because I want to try. I really do. I want to be on the show and just like hold her back.
I thought she was like I watched that panel. I was like, oh yeah, she's really strong. So when I met her, thinking like she'd be like,
can you put me on your back? Can you piggyback me? Is that possible? Can I piggyback you? Probably.
I asked to piggyback her, but because Australia has such like shitty fucking tape when it comes to like celebrities, I wasn't allowed to because I wanted to see how light she weighed.
There's rules about that?
Yes. Here, yes.
Wow. I mean, here there's not because I see those photos all the time.
Yeah. But yeah, in Australia, they want to be a little bit more safer when it comes to celebrities. Like,
that makes sense. The United States is a little.
What happens if I accidentally drop her? She gets a concussion, has to go to hospital. Like, it's a whole thing, and then it would be back on me, and then it would also be back on the convention. Like, we don't want to.
Yeah, that's. I just imagine like
when
how light she would be to pick up.
When I hugged her, like I felt like she was going to break. No joke. I went in to hug her and she's so small that I was like so lightly hugging her that if I
just like air hug. No. You're like barely touching her and just like backpacks a little bit.
I tried to just be very careful. Like, I don't want to break you. And she'd be like standing there hugging me, like, what the hell? Wasn't she like
why aren't you hugging me? Hug me.
It's the same with one of our photo ops. I was hugging her from behind and I was doing it so lightly because I was scared, obviously, if I squish anymore, I will break her.
I will break a rib.
She pulled my hands in and I was like, okay, well, I didn't do that. So
that's on you. That's on you.
And I think she could feel me, either my heart beating extremely fast.
Oh,
or
definitely.
Me, like breathing really like not normally. Like I was just during the photo, and she decided to like, because my hand's on her hands. My hands are under her.
I feel like the nervousness myself.
She's got her hands over mine, so like I'm holding her like this.
I think I've seen that picture.
And and she's got the thing is, while she was doing that, my hand was like this a little bit, so she's just gone.
Oh no!
And I was like standing there, smiling, waiting for the guy to take the photo. I'm like, just take this goddamn
hurry up.
Before I honestly collapse. Like
I would cry. I think because of how emotionally attached I am to the show and the characters, I would cry.
I somehow didn't cry. I didn't faint because my friends were there to like keep me sane. And then, but I was rambling. Like when I get really nervous, I ramble. So I was just rambling about the show, blah, blah, blah. But the morning of, I had like a really nervous point and I puked. Like I was so nervous. Like the morning of, I was like, oh, and I was like, oh my God, what the hell? I've never been this nervous to meet someone before. But then knowing it's obviously Dom and my idol, I was like, shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, almost. And I walk out of the same photo op that she's stroking my hand in. She's talking to the next person who's ready for their photo. And I was like telling my friend about what happened and like my gay panic moment. I turned back because I got my backpack that was on the on the rack that was waiting for me. I turned back to sort of wave Dom goodbye. She literally meets my eyes and smirks at me. And I was like, did you just hear that?
Did you just flirt with me, Dom?
Did you just flirt with me?
It's like you may be like 10 years older than me, but that's all right.
You didn't know that though. I never told her my age. I just said good. I just said I still lived with my parents.
I'm 54 and I still live with my parents.
I think she could have be able to tell if I was 54. I think probably to her, I was about probably like late teens, early 20s.
Yeah.
But she didn't know. Like she didn't know that I was 17, and I never told her.
I give off. Sometimes I've been told that when I talk, mostly to adults, because I what's the word? I kind of curate myself to adults when I talk to them. Obviously, you talk to them in a different way than I would my friends. I try to be more sophisticated, I guess. So I've been told that I'm like, I feel older than I am. I mean, I'm 17, I'm not young, but like, and so I wonder if I were to talk nervously, I'd probably more seem the age I am. Because I remember when I did, again, talking about the height one, somebody's like, you give off 5'11" vibes. I was like, I wish I was 5'11". You know how good at water polo I'd be if I had 4 extra inches on me? And then I'd be really taller than Kat, and that'd be weird.
Oh, it was really funny. When I posted my first photo with Dom, of her wearing my purgatory, like, what was it? Nice person in purgatory sash. I just looked what it said on it again.
Yeah. You had like a print jacket on, didn't you?
No, it was my 307 outfit. And she remembered it. She's like, oh my God, I remember wearing that. Haha. And I was like, oh my God, do you know the cosplay? She's like, of course I know the cosplay. I was like, okay. Whoa. No, she, what was I?
Except imagine it like an accent.
Yeah, and she obviously did the American accent. When I posted that photo, people were like, oh my God, I thought you were a small bean. I thought you were short. And I was like, I'm sure I've announced to the world that I'm taller than Kat.
Yeah.
Like, and you think
you were short.
Think that I'm tiny? Like, I call Dom a midget. Like, and I will to her face. Like, I'm not afraid to call her a midget.
It's like on set, you're short.
You're short.
Deal with it. And then I'm sorry.
You can't reach the top shelf. Nah, 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 nah.
You're just like holding stuff over her head. Like, you can't get it. Jump. Bet. Try.
No, we were teasing each other at Comic-Con.
That's funny.
We would have like our little teasing moments in like the photo ops and at the panels even. And she's like, when I asked her to do an Australian accent, she's like, oh my God, no.
It's like a British accent, but like country. At least for me in my head and how I would pronounce things, that's how the process is in my mind. I can't do an Australian accent. Please, it's so bad. Don't ask. But like in my head, if I were to try, it's like that. I mean, that's how I think about it.
We're a bit more nasally than the English.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like they like open their mouths are a lot more open when they talk, especially if it's like a higher British, like if you think of more like noble royalty kind of thing in London, like they're very open mouths and it's a lot more sounds. Or like you're just like talking here, blah blah blah. That's not an accent. I'm still not trying. You know. So
it's what's so easy is that it's so when I like talk to my American friends and to you and stuff, like it's so easy for me to just jump into an American accent, whereas it's so hard for them to do me.
I think it's because I saw stuff about this is people from other countries watch a lot more American TV.
Oh yeah.
So they're so in tune with how we speak, where we just watch our own TV and we don't watch anything else. Pretty much. So we're not as we just don't see as much of it. So we're just like when we hear that stuff, we're like fascinated by accents. It's weird. And then the other thing about accents, I know Canadians they have an accent, but it's very similar to America, the United States.
Theirs is a lot more subtle than yours.
Yeah. But like when I noticing Kat when she does her O's, she says sorry.
Sorry, like, oh.
Yeah, it's every time she says sorry, I'm like, it's.
I'm like, and Dom's like sitting there like, what the fuck did you just say? Like, because she's English, so she just says sorry, and that's what we say as well. Exactly. We just say sorry. Yeah. But like, Kat's like the sorry scene, and Dom's like the what scene?
It's so funny. Yeah. Oh my gosh. It's so interesting to like how I don't know. It's not as much now. I know it was in season 1. The Dom's accent that she did for Waverly. is a lot different from her English accent. Like she pitched it up
Yeah.
and stuff. So when I first found out she was British, I was like, what?
Mm,
And then like I watched the like their audition tapes and everything and stuff like that, and you like see it, and I'm like, that's insane.
I think the first time that I remember the interview very specifically. Like I can visualize it. It was like I watched all of season 1, and I was watching season 2, and I was like, oh, I'll watch an interview from like the end of season 1 because now I've seen all of it. And I was watching one to Dom, and the minute I click on it and she answers a question, I'm like, she's English. I'm like, what? No. I was so taken back, and I was like sitting at my desk like, what? No, what
It's
the
like in awe. I just sit there like this. I could listen to her all day.
Mm.
Like,
It was honestly like it was the weirdest thing to find out when like I was like, what? Like, yeah, it was just
have you
really
ever
weird.
listened to the start the wave like meditation things? The problem is I will fall asleep. I don't want to fall asleep though.
I almost passed out because I was breathing so heavily.
You're just freaking out like, oh my god, because she's like, it's so quiet, and I'm just like, this is the most calming thing ever.
Yeah. I had to do it because it was the only thing that actually calmed me, because I had a performance exam on like back in October for like school, like for drama, like and I was like freaking out because my father got appendicitis, so he had to go into hospital and get his appendix out and everything. So that sort of messed up my sort of thing that I was doing, because he was going to drive me to the place where I had to do it and everything. It was all organized. And then the last minute, like the night before, he couldn't because obviously he was in hospital. And I was like freaking out. Like I didn't want to get an Uber because I didn't want to be dressed in my costume in an Uber going to this place.
What was your costume?
Like, oh, it was Mary Poppins. So I was like, I just didn't want to be in that costume.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, freaking out. So I was like, I had my mum call my uncle so he could take me, and then luckily he could. And then I was still having like this slight breakdown. So I was like, there's only one thing that's going to get me through this, and it's meditation. So I was like, okay, I'll just do one of the Style meditations. It will be fine. I sat down in my room and literally did it. And the minute it stopped, I was fine. But it was really weird because it was also a mantra. So I was like going, hi, I was like, and then I was like, talking.
Yeah.
Like,
I can't. I'm like not into the meditation stuff. Not that it doesn't work because I haven't done it enough to try, but I don't get in like for when I get stressed out and stuff. I have other ways of calming myself down. I'll literally watch like a TV show that I like. I'll watch reruns, and so I just kind of like get my mind off it. That's how I deal with things. So like the only reason I listen to it is to listen to Dom. Like that's the only reason I would listen to it. That is so funny. Okay, and then another question that came into my head. What was your reaction to Dom's coming out post and Kat's interview where she came out, and it was so whatever. It's so weird. Anyway, I'll go on about what I did, but
I'll start with Kat's because Dom is a bit it's a bit more, I wouldn't say faith or like full on just like
I think I cried.
Okay, basically. I was on an Instagram live the night before. Talking, just talking about Wynonna, talking about season 4 coming and everything, our theories with one of my friends who lives in England, who watches the show, who I just like met that night on the live, and we were hitting it off really well. And we were doing the live, and she brings up this question. She's like, oh, do you think Dom is pansexual? And I was like, you know what? I think she is like, and then we start talking like, oh yeah, she could be bisexual, she could be pansexual because like she seems more pan because she's that person that would date anyone, doesn't matter what sort of sexual orientation, blah, 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 blah. She's that type of person. And then I literally just said, wouldn't it be funny if she came out on her birthday in a couple, like tomorrow, like wouldn't it be funny if she came out?
No.
Flash forward to the fucking 24th of March, which was the 25th of March for me.
Yeah, you're a day ahead.
And she's posted something, and my friends are like trying to call me because I'm still sleeping. And like, and my friend's like, Romy, what did we do? What did we just do? Like, full on. My friends are like, oh my god, Romy, did you hear about Romy's Dom's coming out? Like, yes, I freaking predicted it last night. I was like, what the hell? And I do want to tell Dom this story. Like, oh yeah, the night before I was doing Instagram live, and I literally said, like, wouldn't it be cool
I wish, like,
on your birthday? And you did.
If you saved that video.
Oh, it is saved.
Oh,
my friend has it.
Okay,
my
good.
friend has it. Yeah.
Good. I was like, you need like proof, like.
Oh no, it's so funny because then she brought it back on my birthday, like to celebrate her birthday, and we like, remember when we predicted Dom's coming out? I was like, yes, it was probably the most weirdest, some mythical energy just went boom. Because I was like, oh yeah, she would come out because it's like a new journey to her life. When you turn 30, it's always like a new journey.
Yeah.
It's a new chapter. She could come out. She did. And I was like, what the fuck? What did I do? My manifestation worked. Yeah. And then with cats, it was Comic-Con weekend 2019. So I was at school when it happened. So I was like trying to wrap my head around.
Is your school year like a calendar year?
Like January to December?
Yeah. Okay. Because in the US it goes, we start in like August, September, and we go to like June. So I saw your stuff about you taking your exams and everything and being done with school. So I was wondering.
Yes, yeah. So we go with the calendar. And it was around like, and I was so busy at school at the time because like it was like the beginning of term 3 and everything, and I was organizing stuff for Dom, going to the convention in September, so I was so busy. And then this came out and I was like, okay, she's queer. Okay. Like it wasn't like this whole like revelation thing because I was like,
it came out so she did it so nonchalantly, it seemed in the interview, like she kind of just said it, and I was like, yeah, oh, like I couldn't like, it wasn't, she didn't make this big announcement, so the processing was weird because I was like, well, she didn't care, so I really don't care, I guess. Like I didn't like totally freak out about it.
She literally just put it in the interview, and everyone was like, oh my god, Kat's bisexual, she's queer and everything, and I was like, good for her.
Yeah,
I was like, Kat, blah blah blah. And then with more Dom, because hers was more of like a story, and that the fact that I sort of predicted it freaks me out a bit more. But I was also very happy, even though I predicted it.
Yeah, it's interesting because March, my birthday's in March. It's like 2 weeks ahead of Dom's. Mine's on the 7th. So I have
2 other friends on the 7th.
Really?
Yeah, 2 other Earpers are on the 7th.
Really? That's no way. Okay. We got
to play with Angie.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Wow, that's dope. So it was a couple weeks after my birthday, and it was right after quarantine started because we started on the 14th. That was the day. And I remember that day, it was a weird Friday. It was very interesting. So we had just started quarantine, and I saw the post and I was like, whoa, because it's weird because for me, Sarah Lance was the first character I saw that was queer on TV. So that was like, that's kind of like my character, and I have this weird connection that I can't let go of. And then watching Wynonna Earp, that became more of my comfort character and the characters that I related to more. So having the actress of one of those characters come out and having a queer person play a queer character, for me at a young age, because I know for a lot of people, a lot of older people, they didn't get that when they were growing up. So I feel like for me, it became really important because I was able to have this at a young age. So I think I cried and I think it was in the shower because I was going to shower. I had just gotten out of the shower and I was looking at my phone. I was like, oh my God. And I didn't know what to do. I was like, And I was like, she's 30. I didn't realize how old she was. Like I thought, I keep thinking she's so young because she's so small.
Yeah.
So I thought she was like 25 or something, to be honest. So I was like, oh my God, she's 30 and she's coming out. And for some people, that's kind of like, I don't want to say it's late because it's never too late. But like for the people I know, it's late because I know a lot of people who are my age who are out or they come out in their 20s or whatever, kind of in that area where you're discovering yourself, like especially around college and high school. So for her, and I listened to her story or I read it, and I was taken aback, and I kind of had this revelation about coming out and like what it means to people at different times and stuff like that. Because I had my own thing about coming out. Not that I had any struggles with it because my parents are fine with it. My sister came out before I did, so I knew they would be accepting. I just had this thought in my head that it'd be weird for both of their daughters to be gay. So that kind of was like, that was holding me back. And the whole me realizing kind of threw me off. So having somebody like that have their own process and their own struggles with it kind of helped me feel okay with how I was, even though I'd come out a couple years ago. At least to my family. I don't care about other people in my life. They can find out whenever. I'm just going to post about it one day and they'll be like, what?
Oh, I posted about it on social media. I did straight away. I was like, if anyone else wants to know, here you go.
No, because it was my freshman year. It was the beginning of my first year of high school. So I wasn't sure and I didn't want to start off high school weird for some reason. So I came out to my family, and then the end of freshman year, I came out to my closest friends. I was like, okay, these are the people who I find most important that I feel like should know. And then I'm just like, now I really don't care. If people find out, they find out, whatever. And so with Dawn, that was kind of like that kind of had importance to me, and I had some realization. But with Kat, once again, it was so nonchalant. I was like, whoa. And then having both of the characters now be played by queer people, I was like, that's a big thing. And and the important part of that is they weren't cast for being queer, because there's the whole conversations and debate about like queer characters need to be played by queer people. But when they're casting the show back in 2015, that wasn't a conversation. So they just cast them based off their acting abilities.
Yeah.
And what they could do. And then later they came out, and I think that also has an important thing and can play a role in conversations like this, where like they just happened to be queer and didn't come out till later. So that was like, this is like, and this was the first time I saw queer people play queer characters, except for like probably gay men. I think they've done it before. I think there's a type, you gotta, they're a different type of person, so it's kind of obvious. So it's like, it's that, and being, once again, at a young age, being able to watch this it's very important to have younger people, even if they're not part of the community or not, to have the awareness of it and just be open to the possibilities and stuff like that. So it was very interesting to see my comfort characters like, oh, they're like me.
Yeah.
Not completely like me, but they like women, so that's good enough. Yeah. Oh gosh.
I always had a feeling about Dom,
yeah, I did too. I wasn't sure about Kat because she's married, so I was kind of thrown off.
Yeah, I wasn't sure about Kat either, but
Dom, I was like, I wasn't surprised. I was just like, oh my gosh, really?
I was like, oh, about time.
Like, I predicted it. Yeah, hurry it up. Come on.
Hurry up, come on.
It's like you predicted. It's like when you started watching the show, she's gay. I can tell. It's like someone who like has never watched the show and they don't know who these people are. They're like, I can tell.
I think I kind of figured it out that she may be queer, was how she looked at other women. I'm like, straight people don't look at other women like that.
Yeah. I remember Melanie's tweet about Dom's post.
Yeah.
It was like, I've always known she's special. It's like, first of all, break my heart, why don't you? Second, did you already know? Like, I'm assuming Dom had told people before.
I feel like she definitely told Melanie and Kat and the cast.
Yeah. I mean, I think most people would do the same. Like if there's like special people in their lives that you come out to first, just so like you have people to support you, and then you do the big thing, you know. So that's I wouldn't be surprised if she told them, and I hope she did because I feel like that'd be nice.
Yeah.
I feel like it'd be weird for them to like see the post and like, why wouldn't you tell me? You know, kind of thing. Like I'd hate to be in that situation.
I wouldn't so much say why wouldn't you tell me, but I'd be like, oh, okay, she didn't want to tell us because she wanted to do this in her own way.
Yeah, and I understand that, but you feel like at some point you feel like we're so close, and I understand why you didn't, but like I wish, or it's like I wish you would have told me, not like why didn't you? Like I wish you would have told me sooner because I would hope that you trust me enough to do that, like kind of thing. Yeah. Man, what time is it? It is 10:45.
Damn it!
We've been talking for 3 hours.
Oh my god, yeah, we have.
I'm gonna have to split up this podcast.
It's gonna be a lot to edit down.
I have to take out the
Yeah, I don't want to be getting in trouble with Melanie again.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to take that out. That's so funny. Oh, now I know.
No, people now consider me like, oh, do you know the cast personally? I'm like, no.
No. I wish.
I met them, but no.
That'd be so weird. I've always wanted.
Accidental. It happens. I do something by accident.
Yeah. I just they only DM'd me because they didn't need to get in trouble. It was their personal reasons.
They DM'd me because they were telling me off.
What the hell did you do? I'm gonna get fired now.
No, that wasn't the comment. Well, actually, she's like, I don't want. Okay, I'll read it. She's like, I don't want people to get the wrong idea. I'm like, okay.
Is it really the wrong idea? What is it though supposed to be? A funeral? Who's dying? Oh, please, no one die. Oh, who's texting?
Okay, where's Melanie?
Oh, my mom texted me. My mom's like, how long are you going to be on? Like 10 minutes ago.
Wait, when does the conversation start? What the hell? What? I'm so confused. Why do I have the don't be silly? That was... You know what? I'm just going to go into Twitter and read it. It's just easier that way than trying to find the screenshot. Here we go. Here we go. Jesus. Okay, here we go. She's like using capital letters as well. She's like, I'm so sorry to ask you this, but would you mind taking this down? As in like the photo that I just posted. I was like, yes, of course. She's like, I just realized how it looks and I don't want people thinking things. I was like, it's coming down now. She's like, my fault. I adore you. Thank you. It's like, it's okay. I'm sorry if I made anything worse. She's like, don't be silly. I'm just trying to be careful of what I post so people don't get the wrong ideas. I love that you were excited. Thank you. Totally understandable. I hope the rest of filming went well. I'm so excited. Fingers crossed for a season 5 as well. Thank you so much, Romy. You're a good one. That's okay. Always here.
I like how she still used your name. Like she doesn't know you. She just like
I
your
know.
name. I was like, oh, my name.
No, I wasn't. I was actually literally, I thought after the fact that I said, totally understandable. I hope the rest of filming went well. I'm so excited. Fingers crossed for a season 5 as well. Like I thought that was going to be like the end of our conversation. And then like 2 minutes later, she pops in saying, thank you so much, Romy. I was like, you're using my name.
Yeah.
My name's in like the little section of like, you know how you have your Twitter and you have like your profile picture and then your name and then whatever.
Mm-hmm.
At the time it said, what was it? At the time it said, Romy, Dom is my wife.
Nice.
And now it's changed to Romy. I think Wavely owns this ass. Waves owns my ass. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I think I was known as Romy,
Nice.
Dom's wife when me and Melanie were talking. Or maybe no, wait. Or was it like ultimate gay? I'm trying to figure out what
No,
it was.
if it's like Dom's wife, and she like texts Dom's like, you know you're married, right? You know, like multiple people on Twitter think you're married, right? So I'm just like, okay.
What? When was the wedding?
It must have been too high to remember. Do you remember? Did you watch? There was a. It's like it was a con in Seattle.
Oh yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
she's talking about tapioca.
Yes.
I watched that repeatedly, and Kat's just like giggling off to the side. I was like, "You guys are naughty." Everybody's like, they did something before this panel.
Dom just had a few too many puffs.
Yeah, it was so funny. She just was just going on about tapioca, and Kat's just like, I was like, oh, to be in that moment.
Oh, and she brought her snacks onto stage as well.
Yeah.
And she's like, I'm
She's
doing
eating.
the wrong thing. I'm sitting in the wrong section.
The moderator was like, what the hell is going on?
Oh, I met that moderator that same year.
Really?
Like it was like I watched it because like I remember they were coming back for the convention. And I was like, so I watched the panel literally the weekend it came out. And then June that year, I met the moderator because she's in Buffy, so I met her as her Buffy character. And then that same year, I met Dom, and I asked that moderator about Dom and Kat at that convention that I met her at. Not Dom, but the one before that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh yeah. So I remember watching a panel with you, interviewing Dom and Kat from Wynonna. And she's like, oh, they're such sweethearts. And I was like, oh.
I bet they are.
They are.
It's so funny. Oh my gosh, man.
And it was really funny because I was like, oh my god, I met two people from the high panel. Yeah.
If I meet any of them anytime, if they just Zoom like this, would I be able to speak? Absolutely not.
I was gonna try and get tickets to do a one-on-one with Kat, but it was like the one for the convention coming up, but it's like $80 for 2 minutes, and I was like, no, thank you.
2 minutes.
Like, I was like,
that's not enough.
Yeah, I'm like, that's too much.
I can't speak in 2 minutes. I'd be sitting there just like, hi. I feel like if I ever did a podcast with her, I'd just be sitting there just like, and she'd be like, hello. I'd be like, I'm frozen. But not my computer, it's just me. Oh, the fantasies that play in my head, I'm gonna admit to it.
I froze for a second when Dom joined one of my Instagram lives.
Yeah, I remember I watched one of your Instagram lives with Mercedes, and I was on it. I was just watching. I was like one of two people there. I'm like, I'm pretty sure she does not know that this is my Instagram account. It's also like my main one and my private one that I just use in general for whatever. I have other ones for like my YouTube channel and stuff like that. So I was like, she doesn't know who I am, but if I said, she'd probably know, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to watch this situation that's going on. And I think you were writing a fanfic at the time. I think you were writing something. You were on your computer. Oh, you were editing. No, you were editing something.
What was I editing?
I remember. I don't know if it was a video for Wynonna Earp or if it was something else.
I know I tried to make another edit with 2 characters, but it didn't work out because the graphics of the transitions was so glitchy, so I just didn't bother doing it. No. I was like, I'm just gonna leave this here. I'll see if I can come back to it and fix it up.
Yeah, I remember because you would flip your laptop and like show Mercedes.
Oh no, it probably would have been that edit. Yeah, our lives get so chaotic.
Like, is that on your YouTube channel? Do you put that on your YouTube channel?
What, our lives?
Like, yeah. Or your edits or whatever.
Oh no, I put my edits on my Instagram.
Your Instagram, okay. I'd have to look at that. There's times where I binge edits of shows on YouTube and it makes me cry.
Oh my god, there's one of my favorite edits. It's by one of my friends who edits, and oh yeah, when knowing me, people who meet me, they tend to be like, Romy, you know, like everyone in the fandom. I'm so confused. Like I remember my friend was like, oh yeah, I follow a role play account for like Waverly and Nicole and stuff on Instagram. I'm like, oh yeah, my friend actually manages that, and they're like, Romy, do you like know everyone? I'm like, maybe.
I just talk to everybody.
I make conversation with
Yeah.
like everyone.
I wanted to do and I didn't do it is the Christmas TikTok you did of Waverly on Christmas morning, and then I did Wynonna.
Oh my god,
I meant to do Nicole on Christmas Day and then I never did it.
that was my favorite TikTok that you did of mine.
I did
Like,
it.
it worked so well.
It took me so long to get it right. Like the timing of the throw was so for some reason it was so hard for me to get down correctly, and then for me to also not look into my phone camera after I threw it to make sure. I could. It took me forever, and my mom came home while I was doing it, and I'm in my Christmas sweater and my Santa hat, and I'm trying to do it because I'm coming in from the hallway where it's like you come down from the garage, and it's like my room is at the end of it, and I'm trying to do this, and my mom walks in the hallway. I was like, I gotta stop. I was like, I had to wait for my mom to leave. So please go somewhere else. This is embarrassing.
Oh, so I was like, well, no one's gonna like duet this. It's just gonna be Waverly waking up on Christmas morning.
Aww.
But you duetted it, and it worked so well. Like you had to watch it together.
Yeah. I had to. I was like, I have to do this. And I was thinking about like how would Nicole react? I feel like it would happen, and Nicole would just be like, I don't know, god damn it, and she'd just fall back asleep. Or she would like throw it back at her. Yeah, but that never happened. So I was like, oh, whatever.
We can still do it now. It's still there.
It is still there. I just have to think about it and try to figure it out because I have to lay down on my bed and then throw a dog bed at me because that's what I used. I used the dog bed. I was like, what's the closest thing to blue I have that I can throw and won't break my window?
That's quite funny. No, it just went really well. It took me forever to film the Waverly part as well. Like I had like
you're like throwing a stitch at yourself.
I know, it was because it was like 11 o'clock at night, so I couldn't get anyone to do it for me. And I was like, it came into my head. I'm like, I should do this.
I did it after practice. I came home from practice, so my hair is wet. I had my hair in a ponytail because that's how I fit it in my cap, obviously. And so my hair's completely wet. My bangs are like this from my cap. And so I was like, okay, I have to like take down my hair so you can see it so it doesn't look like I'm bald because Wynonna, you can see Wynonna's hair, obviously. And so I throw on my sweater, I throw on my hat, I grab the dog bed from my living room without my dad seeing because he's in the office. And I'm like running like, nobody see me, please. This is a secret. Nobody watches me do my TikToks except my sister watched me one time. Oh my God, that was weird. I have to explain that. And I was like, and I had like my sweats on from after practice and my shirt, my hair's wet. I'm technically still wet. And I'm going through my door, throwing a pillow at my bed. Like I'm walking through this door that's over here, because that's the door to my room. And I'm opening the door, throwing it, closing it, and standing out with my phone still in the doorway. And I'm just like waiting for the sound to end like this. And my mom walks in, I'm like, And then my sister walks because my window goes to the backyard and my dogs are in the backyard and my sister's out there with them. And I'm filming over there by my TV. And my sister's watching me. I'm like, and she's like, what are you doing? I was like, a TikTok? And she's like, oh. I was like, and I'm like closing my blinds to the window. It's like, please don't watch me anymore. My family, I was like, I do my TikToks either when nobody's home or when everybody's doing something else so I can close my door and they don't bother me. I was like, don't.
I was like partway through doing a TikTok. I'd done the first half of it. It's the one that I did like, why aren't you in uniform? I'm like, oh shit, okay. I did that one, and I just got into my Waverly cosplay, and my mum walks into my room. She's like, "Oh, why are you all dressed up?" I'm like, "I'm doing a TikTok," and she's like, "Okay," and then closes the door.
And, like, I borrowed my mom's cowboy hat, and I came into her room and I took it, and she just didn't ask a question. I was like, thank goodness you did not ask what this was for. So weird. I feel like I'm hiding a secret from them half the time. Because I'm like semi-successful in Earp talk in general, so I'm just like, my fame can't be known. So,
No, people call me famous on TikTok. I'm like, I'm not famous.
in the realm of Earp talk, you are, I would say. I mean, like, first of all, you're the first person I noticed. Second of all, I think you're like probably one of the most followed people.
On Earp Talk?
Yeah.
Mm.
I would say I see like everybody who, like I said this before, everybody new that pops up, like it says like followed by you, and then I'm like, okay, so you follow a lot of people, and then people follow you back, obviously. So I feel like everybody just kind of, you're just known, you're well known in the universe. Except freaky.
It does, because like I always wanted to be noticed in a way. Like I always wanted to be like, because I'm the youngest sibling. I'm very much like Waverly, youngest of 3. The middle child is the golden child, which is like Wynonna.
Mm-hmm.
I was always known as her little sister. And then when I started to make my own thing on social media, I had my own sort of like area to be me.
Mm-hmm.
So when I got big on Instagram and when I got big on TikTok, I was like, people know me? Like, it's so weird.
Yeah.
Like, it's...
I remember I tried to do a fan account on Instagram. I just can't do content like that. That's not my forte. I remember I did one for football, and I mean American football. I don't watch soccer. I did that because I like watching American football. And that was good for a little while, and then I stopped watching for a little while, so that never worked. And so I've never gotten into it again. I've always wanted to, but I never did. And so this way was kind of like, now I'm finally doing what I wanted, and I'm actually enjoying it and being able to figure stuff out, because they're like minute-long videos that I do whatever I want. It's like the easiest way for me to create content. And then like I did YouTube, and that was a few years ago I started doing that, and then I just stopped. I just can't do it's hard because like I don't have the supplies, and I can't do what I want to do for it, so I just don't. You know, I'm kind of waiting. And so with this is kind of a platform that I've been wanting to do. And I have some podcasts up already that like I said, I did a while ago. Like there's 2 Wynonna Earp ones. I used to watch Shooter, which is a show because there's an actress from The Flash that was on it, so I started watching it, and then she got killed off, so I stopped watching it. It was very sad.
No, I think I became dedicated to my fan account after Dom noticed me. Like I needed that boost to sort of, okay, well now people have seen my account, I have to post, like, or I'm not going to keep up the revenue. So like this is my account Instagram. Yeah,
I was gonna ask towards the end if you want to shout yourself out wherever you want to.
Supergirl's twin, guys. Dot twin. Yeah.
And then Waves on TikTok. You want to share your Twitter? I don't remember your Twitter handle.
My Twitter is just romstar_grande. Haven't changed it to like a different name because that's when I made it when I was 13.